All right, welcome back to the channel. Man, I am tickled to death you showed back up. I know it's been a long time since I made a video. I have spent all my money on that for that. So my nephew has come down here from Oklahoma to help me turn wrenches on this thing. He said hello.
Hello.
I know you can't tell that we're related. We're related on his mother's side. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get all elbow deep in this thing and pull it all apart. We have got to put a set of cylinder heads on it, cams, timing, tensioners, oil pump, and whatever else we get into. So y'all sit back, grab a smoke, grab a beer, and we're gonna get elbow deep in this thing. Welcome this episode of In the Garage.
What red hair mean? I know you want me. Well, I want you to. What will you do? Love child, what will you do? Don't be shy, sugar. Look me in the eye, girl. What's your pleasure? It's sleep like leather. Come, baby, please. 'Cause I'm down on my knees. And I've got.
You see what time it is? That goes right down there.
What a wasted day.
Yeah, we had to take it all back apart. Enjoy the rest of the video. All right, so we got a lot of this junk out of the way.
6.
And we fixing to pull the battery out of it. Phillips head screw for the ground. I completely approve that. We got the radiator drained. We got most of the electrical stuff unhooked. Injectors, coils, all the backing lines, all that good stuff out of there. So I reckon what we'll do next, like I said, pull the battery out, and we'll finish draining this radiator and get the hoses out of our way. We've got to get the fan out of it, fan shroud, and then this cover here. So we're gonna pull the radiator out and go ahead and pressure wash it while it's out and in the way, out of the way. So we're gonna get back to it. My mouth was open. We got the radiator, fan shroud, all that garb up out of here. We got most of our wiring harness unplugged. We haven't moved it all out of the way yet. We've got our EGR stuff unhooked on top, and we're fixing to unbolt that one. You can't see, just trust me, it's in there. Get that one undone. If you do not have the tools to get your fan loose, I'm gonna show you a little trick, what we just figured out. If you will take your channel locks and you will grab a hold of these 2 bolts, or 2 of these bolts. If you'll grab a hold of those bolts just like that, and then you've got a friend who don't mind busted knuckles, you are able to hold that sucker still and get your fan off of it. I'm gonna go rinse my mouth out because it sort of tastes like ass and aspirin right now. All right, let's see if we got this thing broke loose. Finally. Where there is a will, there's a way. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. Although we did have to spray it, heat it, spray it, spray it, heat it, spray it, heat it, spray it, and then spray it, and then put a breaker bar on it.
Forgot about the tongue hold.
Oh yeah, I had my tongue hanging out the right, was it the right side?
Yeah.
It was the right side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that's what actually did it. I wonder how hot this is.
Don't.
You don't think?
Mm-mm.
I really want to give it a try.
Go ahead.
I want to.
I'll take you to the doctor.
Okay. Ow.
Told you.
I'm going to get it with a wrench. It gives me more time to think about things. You know what I mean? I almost think the truck was actually built around this. I think this is the first part they added. I think. I wonder if it's still hot. Ow. Still hot. How do you know if you don't touch it though? Really? How do you really know?
Thought that it was steaming WD-40 off of it.
I wonder if it's still hot. Ow, 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 ow. It's stuck. Ow. That one actually, you know, part of it was a show.
You want a rag?
It's hot. Ow. Got it. Isn't this so much fun?
No.
It's not. Oh, it's not fun.
Ford engineers need to
They
lose
hate
their
mechanics. Engineers hate mechanics. You had your tongue to the left.
pay. I did. Should have put it to the right.
Pete's sake. This is a Ford.
If you built a 2002 F-150 and you're still alive, I want to talk to you.
All right, we're about to get these valve covers off here. Now, I have purposely not been videoing a whole lot because this is just the peripheral stuff that has been on this channel multiple times. If you'd like to see that, go back on this F-150 playlist and you'll find that. A few busted knuckles and a intrusion uninvited that you missed.
Wahoo!
It went virtually into that region right there.
Indian word, wrong hole.
And it was the sweetest sound he made. It really was.
Today seems like yesterday, hopefully not tomorrow. It feels like sometimes it's always on a borrow, yeah. Walking a straight line ain't easy today, and I know this 'cause I wake some mornings and say, man, I didn't like yesterday. The house is dirty and bills are still not paid. Gotta get up, gotta get out, I gotta find me a paper right out. You go walk in my shoes and you'll see. Take a look at my world, then you can say, man, I didn't like yesterday, no. When I look for the day when I can smell the warm summer air, common problems wash over me and leaves gray in my hair. Some people look and they laugh at me, It's a song for me now. Man, I didn't like yesterday. The house is dirty and bills are still not paid. Gotta get up, gotta get out, gotta find me a better house. And I like yesterday. Man, I didn't like yesterday. The house is dirty and bills are still not paid. Gotta get up, gotta get out, gotta find me a better house. I did not like that. Say yesterday. Did not like it. Man, I didn't like yesterday. The house is dirty and bills are still not paid. Gotta get up, gotta get out, gotta find me a better house.
How bad is the inside of this thing? Don't think it's gonna be real bad. Not too bad for 255,000 miles. Good morning, everybody. We just been out here sort of getting our area cleaned up a little bit, getting ready for the day. We're fixing to tackle the timing. So I believe what we're going to do first is get our tensioners, our hydraulic tensioners off. Go ahead and get our chains out of the way and our tensioners, and then it'll be time, I guess, to pop the heads loose. Which, if I had to guess, is going to be somewhere around 35 pounds. I do not know. Do not take that to the bank. That's how it's supposed to work.
If a guy was to be looking for a pry bar,
A guy would be finding it in just above, up. One more maybe. Up,
yeah,
right there.
right where you said there was.
See it, cam turn.
Uh-huh.
That's why that thing didn't want to come out. The cam was right up on a lobe that
Pressure.
was trying to force the cam backwards. All right. Let me get this, and we'll go ahead and pull this tensioner off this pin down here, and we'll take a look at them. We're through the plastic there. Now, mind you, the front of this motor has never been apart. So that's 255,000 miles.
That's really not bad at all
No.
for 250,000 miles.
There is, we hadn't found,
You see how much meat is still on it.
we have not found any broke pieces of plastic. We're probably gonna have to put a extension in there
and
turn that so I can get that tensioner off of it. Just like so.
Lucky guess.
I'm telling you guys, there's maybe, I don't know, 15 thousandths groove in that guide. Cannot beat it. 255, 54,000 miles, something like that. About the same.
Yep.
About 10 or 15 thousandths groove. Well, let's go ahead and pull these chains off if we can. Now, if you'll notice, your crank pulley down there is not pressed on. See here? It just slides on.
Another Ford engineering.
We've got the oil pan as low as it'll go, setting down on the front axle. And that's gave us about an inch, and we're hoping that's enough to pull the tube out of the oil pump. You might actually have to pry it out of the oil pump.
I know my big old meat sausages is probably right in the way, but a little bit at a time. Don't drop it down in the pan. And we are out successfully with that bolt. And now pickup tube. And it's out.
Well, so far, so good. Let me roll out from under this thing for Pete's sake.
Touchdown.
Got our new oil pump out. I'm gonna hand this to Jay Book. It is part number M176, and that is the same oil pump for multiple Fords and multiple years.
It's got two big wide spots, and they sit inside there. But you also have shifted to the left and the right. So if it's not all lined up, it does not go.
Where is the
Flat is right here.
And on the other side
and
is
right there, flat.
the same size flat?
Yeah.
All right. It shouldn't be that hard. What was that look?
I'll hold the camera and you come down here and find out if it's hard or not.
Let me give that thing a whirl.
Yeah. Now, if this goes on the first time, I'm turning this video off and going home.
I'm gonna get all up in this thing.
Oh, you hateful
Just like-
smart aleck.
Just like so. Right here. Can't see nothing. And I do wish he would put that cotton picking lawnmower up, for Pete's sake. All right, let's go ahead and torque this thing in. And they torque at 7.4 pounds. Which don't seem like a lot. But this is 6mm bolts.
Bingo.
All right, now I guess we need to go ahead and put the bolts in for the pickup tube. So let's get on that and see if I can do that without dropping a cotton picking bolt, for Pete's sake. Don't drop the bolt, don't drop the bolt, don't drop the bolt, don't drop the bolt. All right, that's one started.
That's one there's about.
Find a hole. Oh, this is gonna be a joy. There's the hole. That's the bolt. Right, it is started.
Sweet.
Beautiful. What we've decided to do, we've decided to go ahead and take the pipes loose from the manifolds and pull manifold and cylinder head all out at one time. That way we can fool with those manifold bolts into the head. So old J-Boot's gonna pull this last one off, and we've been pretty lucky so far.
Nailed it.
Some of y'all old heads that have been following the channel will remember from the last time I had this apart, minus the cylinder heads, the grounds that went on the back of the passenger side cylinder head along with your metal water tube that goes to the back of your water pump. We've got to get those off. They're a little bit easier now that the cylinder head is loose and slid forward a little, but you can't move it a lot because that water pipe it's hard pipe, so you can only slide it forward so much to give yourself some room. But that is such a pain in the butt back there. We're gonna try to get this as good as we can get it. Anytime you're bolting aluminum cylinder heads that you've had surfaced onto a cast iron block that you haven't had surfaced, you want to try your best to get that as flat as you can possibly get it, so that your gasket has to do as little work as possible to seal you up. And you always want to use a really good MLS gasket. That way, hopefully, if all goes well, we don't have to worry about a leaking head gasket again. And we'll show you here in a minute where this head gasket was blown. I had a decent idea where it was blown, but we verified it. You'll notice you've got oil passage here, 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 but this is our blowed head gasket. All of your sealing material is gone. So I knew we were leaking oil out of the head gasket down the passenger side rear of the block across the starter, but that just verifies where that was coming from. So that is a good find. I really like finding those ahas, just to verify that yes, we're doing all this work for a reason and we can prove why we're doing it. All right, so we've got all of our surfaces cleaned up and ready. We got the front of the engine surface clean for our front engine cover. And we've got our gasket on our oil pan cleaned as well as we're gonna be able to get it. We had to pull the oil dipstick tube out. It goes up inside the manifold around one of the runners on the manifold to get it out. So it is out, and we're gonna go ahead and put the lower crank pulley on and go ahead and get number one up the top dead center. And this is our timing set. Part number, whatever. There's your part number. So we got our crank pulley out of here, and Book is getting it set up to get on. So we'll go ahead and get number one pulled up to top dead center. That's going to be our starting point for our timing anyway. So we'll go ahead and get that done. See that dot at the bottom? That dot will go to 6 o'clock, which will be dead center of your oil pan.
I was hoping.
All right, so now that we got our surfaces ready to go, we got our gasket out there on the block itself. Now we need to set this head up and get it ready to be bolted down. So there's a few things that we're doing to make it easier. One is we're going ahead and torquing the manifold and everything on. And if you're replacing the studs on your manifolds, they recommend that you torque your studs to 15 pounds, and then you do 2 rounds of torquing on your nuts. One at 18 and one the second round at 25. So now we need to get the cam in the right place so that we can rotate the engine over without the pistons coming in contact with the valves. When it's sitting here like this, that cam timing on the driver's side will be at 12 o'clock, but it's at an angle on the head, so 12 o'clock on the head is not the same as 12 o'clock sitting here on the table. But if you take your cam mark and you line it up with those cam cap bolts, that is 12 o'clock on the engine. So I'm gonna set you up, we're gonna rotate this thing around, then we're gonna use our cam locking tool, lock our cam in place, and that way when we set this thing on here, we do not have any concerns with piston to valve contact. So I'm gonna set you up, we'll get started. All right, so like I said earlier, I believe in the video, if you do not have the tool to turn your cam, you can use a 3/8 extension, 3/8 drive, anything. It'll fit right in the end of your cam. We'll rotate this thing around until our mark is even with the left bolts of our cam caps. And it's gonna wanna flop with you. So don't let that freak you out. All right. We are dead on lined up if you want to tighten it right there.
I wasn't prepared. Will it stay?
Yeah. You can probably tighten it a little bit more. Yeah. All right, now our cam is actually under tension from the lobes riding on the rocker arms, but our cam tool is holding it in place, and that's where we want to keep it. Now that you can see our table cam alignment worked pretty good. Our mark is right dead on 12 o'clock, so we ought to be in good shape. That will keep any of the valves coming in contact with the pistons right there. Hopefully.
Maybe.
Maybe. We went ahead and backed our timing up off of, well, actually we advanced the timing off of 6 o'clock down here on the crank so that we can get all the pistons below deck. And we're doing that so we can release the pressure on the cam, and so the valves won't come in contact with the pistons. So when we get this head torqued down, we'll put the other one. If you'll notice, number one piston is about, I don't know, close to an inch below deck, which means number 6 piston is about the same, because you have 2 pistons that fire almost at the same time on different banks on the engine. So we know where we're at. No valves can come in contact with any pistons no matter where we turn that cam. So we need to take the cam tool off, rock the cam around, and that way we can torque this head down, because the cam tool is in the way of 2 of the head bolts. And we'll go ahead and torque that, put this cylinder head on, go ahead and torque it, and then we'll bring our timing mark on this cylinder head to noon, and then this one on the passenger side, we'll time it closer to 11, and that way we can move our timing pointer down on our crank back to 6 o'clock and not have to worry about any contact. That's my elbow, for Pete's sake.
It didn't feel that good, did it?
It did not. We're gonna do first round at 30 pounds. All right, round 2 will be 60 pounds. Now, the book calls for 30 pounds, 90 degrees, and 90 degrees. The closest we can come up to is 30 pounds, 60 pounds, 90 pounds. So that's what we're gonna do. I've said it before, I do not have one of those torque wrenches. So this is going to have to work.
Degree wrench?
Yeah, I do not have a degree torque wrench. Go up to 90. Get this above this cam. No room to push. Just in case you guys were wondering, this ain't a bit of fun because there is nothing to grab a hold of and get any pressure. Just manhandle it and go. Worry about the pain in a minute. All right, one cylinder head torqued. All right. Because of our firewall, that crook out the firewall there at the heater core, we cannot get the head bolts, the back two head bolts in the head while the head is on the block. So you got to put two of the cylinder head bolts halfway in, then put your cylinder head down, and then you're able to put them in. It is proof that engineers absolutely hate mechanics. They just hate them. I think they're taught that. There's a whole lot going on back here, a lot. So you want to make sure that stuff is where it's supposed to be, back out of the way. So when it comes time to get to it, you can get to it. And Book's fixing to hand me this cylinder head. And then we've got to stick the two back bottom bolts in it. All right, I'm ready when you are ready. And we want the bolts to sort of hang out by themselves, just like that, because that's going to be the only way that this thing's going to go in. I need a head gasket.
I guess that's kind of important.
That's one of the things that's going to help it seal.
You probably need one of them.
All right, this is what I came up with. Or actually, Book came up with that. We were thinking about maybe a piece of tube or something, but we taped just above the threads and left it to where it'll be pretty easy to remove. I love engineers so much. They are actually my favorite people. I love them. I am ready. Book when you're ready.
Send it.
Send it. I got a freaking hose right in the way. All right. I am hitting that hose right there on the boat.
Something's under the back of it, isn't it? And you've got...
Well, it's what it is the bolt sticking up have caught the wiring harness.
And you hold up on this end? Or?
Well, just hold what you got right there.
All right.
For Pete's sake, Lord have mercy. All right, golly. All right, it's got to go back some. And let me find out what is holding us up. Metal tube is out of the way. Our wiring harness.
Hold on, I've got to force this together now because your bolt's going inside the exhaust pipe. Okay.
All right. There it went. How about that for a head bolt, folks? Yeah.
I said now black light, baby, where have you been? It's been a long time since we were friends now. Yeah.
While Book is over there fooling with that thing I don't want to fool with, I am going to go ahead and put these gaskets in here. Now, something I wanted to point out, just in case you don't know, these gaskets don't just hold themselves in there by hope and a prayer. They actually snap into place. So I'm going to get it all laid out, and then we'll go through and snap it in. And you can't mess them up because they're shaped exactly how they're supposed to go. So now we're going to go through and you can actually feel it pop in, which is going to be handy because we can't see nothing down there. I went ahead and, or Jake did, yesterday, cleaned these things up so they'd be ready to go today. Trying to keep this thing moving. It's stretching out a little bit longer than what we had planned on, but it's all right. Now up here, you've got a square tab and a square tab. You want to make sure those flop in, and they're just going to be proud up here and down here on your valve covers, and also down here on your oil pan. Just proud a little bit. I got to stick this last one in here, and we'll call this thing done. All right, so it's time to start on the timing. Now, we have the correct tools. You can buy this little kit from PT Tool.
I actually think they're $45 on
Yeah,
Amazon.
they're like, this is to remove your rocker arms. This is to turn your cam. You got those 2 pins that go right there into your cam, and then this locks on. You can turn it like that, and we have the crank tool. But you can do this, every bit of this, with just normal, regular tools that everybody has in their toolbox. This tool that holds your cams still once you get them set, you can, if you have to, use a pair of vice grips. I do not recommend it because it is such a pain in the butt to control. So that tool is very handy, but everything else you can do with just regular tools. We're going to turn this cam to about 11 o'clock. I'm going to pull this over here so that I can tighten that up for you.
What do you feel about your 11 there? Or you want more?
A little bit more. That'll work. Right there, pretty close. And the reason these things are so handy is because you're gonna have to loosen these up and let this cam slip a little bit when it comes time to actually put the chain on it. So if you were to use vice grips, that would be virtually impossible to do. All right, we're gonna do 12 on this side. And this little nub that you can see right down here, that is not your timing mark. That is the pickup for your cam timing. So don't mistake that for your timing mark, or you'll mess yourself up. Yeah, you can see that little line right there. Not that. All right, so if you've got the tool to go on your crank, see that slotted hole right there in that tool? You see that line up, that dowel that holds your front cover on? That dowel pin will go right through that hole when your crank is turned to the right position. But like I stated earlier, if your crank is in the right position, your dot on your timing gear will be dead on 6 o'clock. So that's just a little, there you go. All right, here's your other guide. So your one colored link on your chain, that's going to be dead center of your dot on your crank pulley. And then you'll split your timing mark on your cam. You'll split it in between those two links. That's how you're going to time this thing up. Now, the chances of your cam gear being dead on the money are slim to none. And that's why I said earlier it's best to use this tool, because you're going to have to loosen the cam up enough to turn it just a little bit so that you can line your doohickeys up. So I'm going to go down here below and make sure that he has got that colored link on the dot, and then we'll fool with the cam here momentarily. Link is dead on the dot. Okay. So now we're going to have to move the cam most likely to get our links set up there. Now what I'm doing is taking tension off this cam lock so that he's able to turn this cam where it needs to go. Guides on, and now we're going to put the tensioning guides, and both guides are identical, so that doesn't matter, but your tensioning blocks are left and right, so you got to make sure to get them right. So there's, each one of them has a letter on the front of it. And do not pull your hand grenade pin until you are done. You have checked all the tension. Tension is where it's supposed to be. Marks are where they're supposed to be. Guides are where they're supposed to be. These are torqued in. We're going to torque them at 30 pounds. And when all that is done, then and only then do you pull those pins out. And we're switching from the factory oil pressure controlled tension blocks. We're switching to the ratcheting style. 29 point, okay, there you go. That'd be 30 pounds right there.
Okay.
29.92 to be exact. We're gonna go ahead and pull the grenade pins out of this thing. We have checked, tension is where it's supposed to be. Marks are lined up top and bottom both cams, and that's all we can check. The rip. There's one. There's the other. Now we're gonna put the bolt in the crank. We're going to spin this thing 360 degrees by hand just to verify we have no contact, and then we'll start finishing this job up. So we've got our timing, our oil pan bolted back up, got it all torqued down. Now before we put this front timing cover on, you got to remember where your front plate meets your oil pan in the corner. You need to go ahead and put you in some silicone right there, and the opposite side over there where he's pointing. So he's going to go ahead and get that done, and we have already rotated the engine twice, so we're in good shape, and we'll put the front timing cover on. I'll bring you back when we're setting it in. All right. We went ahead and done a few other things. We went ahead and put our oil filter in while it's easy to get to, and our lower radiator hose, because that, if any of you guys have ever replaced a lower radiator hose on one of these things, then you know how much fun that is. I got a wiring harness over here. It's harassing me. All right,
hold the phone.
Then we got a wiring over here.
Around the bottom of the
AC compressor?
Yep.
All right. Rag.
Good one?
Yeah, decent one. Yep. All right, now we need to get this thing set on the lineup dials, which should be pretty easy because we can see our bolts here. Hey, get me a dabble, that little black thing's got oil in it. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of oil on this front cover seal.
I am looking out my window, and I wish that you were here, sitting tall for a little while. Well, I know you're good and make it, and I know you really care. Sometimes I can be in denial.
Wow, what a job. Man, that's just about too much to do out in the driveway. First off, I want to thank my nephew very much for coming 13 hours out here to help me roll around on the concrete. He did not have to do that. That kid is a worker, let me tell you. I say kid, he's not a kid. He's, what, 32? He'll be 33 this year, I think. Far from a kid, but I greatly appreciate it. And he worked his butt off. And that ain't no joke. I am not kidding. But I am tickled to death with this. I want to thank my buddy at work for the canopies. How miserable it would have been for us to be out here in this blazing sun trying to get this thing done in the driveway. So I want to thank him for that, and he knows who he is. And but I am tickled to death with this thing. Other than our snafu, holy cow! You want to talk about taking the wind out of our sails? We didn't get in bed that morning until about 5. That added about 5 hours to our job. That was tough. That was tough. It took the life out of us. We were already tired. It was about 10:30 at night when it happened, when we realized it. I've put maybe 30 miles or so on it, and it rattled a little bit when we very first started it up for about 4 or 5 seconds till it got oil pressure. But see if I can reach in here. Crank her up. But man, I cannot complain. I could have swore that I just popped that hood. I might have pulled the brake handle. I don't know, for Pete's sake. But it turned out really, really, really good. We have no leaks. Now, the only thing it is doing is that little surge. And I think what it's doing is that ECU is relearning, recalibrating. I'll be watching that over the next few days to see if that goes on. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you made it this far, man, you've got a lot of patience. Leave your comments. Greatly appreciate the comments. I love the comment section. Hit the bell notification, that way you're notified every time I release new content. Till next time, y'all go do some work.